right back at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas is yet another UFC Fight Night. This time, Song Yudong taking on Ricky Simone. Let us begin first, though, with the co-main event in the middleweight division. Caio Borralho taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk. Mark, why don't you start us off with your take and your pick of Borralho over Oleksiejczuk?
Yeah, it's not our usual MO here, but we're only giving you guys 2 fights because his card fucking sucks. And we had a million recaps to do. So
it just does. It's just not a strong card.
Co-main and main.
Nothing against any of the guys on this card.
Yeah, it is what it is.
By UFC standards.
Sorry, co-main, Mike, the Heat have the ball down 2 with 2 seconds left. I'm so curious to see if they manage to win this, and that's who we play. Anyway, MMA podcast. Caio Borralho is a large favorite. He is minus 370. Michal Oleksiejczuk is plus 275. They tied it. It's going into overtime. I'm fucking this whole podcast up. Oh, wow. Who hit the shot? Jimmy Butler, of course. It was Jimmy Butler. Okay. Anyway, great preview. Yeah. I like Michal Oleksiejczuk. Sorry, it's a big night for the Knicks.
It is.
Yeah, I like Oleksiejczuk. You guys know that. His hands are nasty. I think this is a tough matchup. Caio has looked really comfortable in striking exchanges for a guy whose go-to skill is not the striking. He's done perfectly fine there, and we know what his ground game is like. His control is great. His jits credentials are great. It's easier said than done, but I think if he can avoid a huge shot in this fight, I think he'll be all right. And he's pretty good from range with his kicks. He kind of stays away until he wants to close the range, and then he's able to, presses you up against the cage. I just think he has the right skill set to win this fight. Oleksiejczuk is absolutely live. Part of the reason I love him is because of how well he can dig short shots. Like when someone tries to clinch or crowd the space, he'll come through with like a tight uppercut, things like that. He's dangerous in kind of all these moments, but I kind of think that Borralho is just a tough matchup for him, a little too well-rounded, and I will say it goes his way. So I'll say UD for Caio.
Omar.
Caio to me looks like the Johnny Cage of Brazil. Like the man is, and matter of fact, I'm gonna send you guys this picture real quick. I should probably add this picture to the podcast so people know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the man is a specimen. On top of the fact that he's got some physical prowess, he's also got actual credentials to back them up.
I see
his performances have looked great. His last 2, I think, have been the toughest that he's had to compete with. They've led him both to decision. He's had to really work through them. Like Mark was saying, I think he's had to show how comfortable he is on his feet, even though that might not really be his bread and butter. But I think what's really going to come down, what it's going to come down to, I think in the end is going to be the ground game. And I think Oleksiejczuk has shown some vulnerability to the ground. And I think with a specialist like Caio, I think it's going to be a problem, and I think it's going to get exposed yet again. Oleksiejczuk hasn't really beaten anybody that to me gives me that kind of confidence that he'll be able to stop Caio. And the performances from Caio, not necessarily the resume, but the performances themselves, give me the confidence that he should be able to style a little bit, especially when it comes to the ground and the jiu-jitsu game on Oleksiejczuk. So I'm going to go with Caio by second round submission.
Wow.
Care to make a pick, or are you just frozen?
What's happening?
Something. Having technical difficulties for a second.
I thought it was the goddamn sports.
Let's see. I'm going to take Michal Oleksiejczuk.
Wow.
I'm going to go round 1 finish.
Wow.
Handing Caio Borralho's first ever career knockout loss.
Okay. All right. You put it all on Snake Eyes. That's wild.
Mike is leading the standings this season, people, in our picks. So
yeah, astoundingly.
Which drives me crazy when you make
want to
picks like
sprinkle
these.
Oleksiejczuk. What'd you say?
He makes these crazy fucking picks like these too sometimes. It drives me crazy. He's leading right now. And like by a good margin too. Like he's got like fucking 7 wins over me. I don't know.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it either. I honestly.
It's a long year. Don't get comfortable.